the centre has opposed the recognition of same-sex marriages in the Supreme Court. This is what the centre has said. Living together as partners and having sexual relationship by same-sex individuals, which is decriminalised now, is not comparable with the Indian family unit concept of a husband, a wife and children, which necessarily presuppose a biological man as a husband, a biological woman as a wife, and the children born out of the union between the two, who are reared by biological man as a father and biological woman as a mother. This is what Supreme Court has stated. This is what the centre, has stated in the Supreme Court. The centre has submitted that registration of marriage of same-sex persons also results in violation of existing personal as well as codified law provisions, such as the degree of prohibited relationship, conditions of marriage, ceremonial and ritual requirements under personal laws governing the individuals. This is what the centre has said while opposing a plea seeking the recognition of same-sex marriage. The notion of marriage itself necessarily and inevitably presupposes a union between two persons of the opposite sex. This definition is socially, culturally and legally ingrained into the very idea and concept of marriage and ought not to be disturbed or diluted by judicial interpretation, is what the centre has submitted to the Supreme Court in its affidavit. This is as the court gets set to hear a set of pleas with regards to recognizing same-sex marriages. Let me go across to Arvind, who's joining us with more details. Arvind, was this response of the centre on expected lines, considering a few months ago we heard a senior party leader from the BJP raising this issue in Parliament as well and citing very similar views there?
Maha, for the first time, centre has made its stand clear on the issue of recognition of same-sex marriage. This is the first time centre is making its stand clear. They are putting it in written before any court of law, and this time centre has filed an affidavit in Supreme Court challenging or opposing the pleas that have been filed in the appellate court seeking recognition of same-sex marriage. So centre has invoked three grounds to oppose the petition. One, they are saying that the notion of marriage itself necessarily and inevitably presupposes a union between two persons of opposite sex, and that's why centre is making it very clear marriage means a union of opposite sex, and that's why centre has asked Supreme Court that this idea should not be disturbed or ought not to be disturbed or diluted by judicial interpretation. So they are asking the Supreme Court not to intervene or not to enter this domain, where they are saying is that a very idea of a marriage has to be between two opposite sex, and that's why centre is saying that this is something that has been the notion that has been set on record, and the court should not intervene on the judicial side. That seems to be the first ground. And second ground, where the centre opposing the petition more strongly or more vehemently on the ground that living together as partners and having sexual relationship by same-sex individuals, even though if that has been decriminalized now, it's not comparable with the Indian family unit concept of a husband, a wife and children, which necessarily presuppose a biological man as a husband, a biological woman as a wife, and the children born out of the union between the two, who are reared by the biological man as father and the biological woman as mother. So that's why centre is making it clear that it has to be, again, a marriage has to be between two opposite sex, a biological man and a biological woman. Same-sex marriage cannot be recognized in the legal jurisprudence of India. That seems to be the stand that the centre has taken in Supreme Court. So there has been almost over a dozen cases that have been filed in Supreme Court after Supreme Court order transfer of all the petitions that are pending across various high courts to Supreme Court on this very issue. Now, for the first time, centre has made it very clear where they have opposed the recognition of same-sex marriage. So the bench headed by Chief Justice of India, Justice Chandrachud, will soon hear this matter, and the son will get to hear what will be the further arguments of centre on this matter.
All right, Arvind, getting us the details of the centre's affidavit to the Supreme Court while it opposes the recognizing of same-sex marriages. They have said that culturally, a family unit in India is a biological man, a biological woman and a child born out of the two.